Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening if you're watching on replay. I am Leesa with Leesa Boone Designs, and y'all, today is my birthday. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you today and celebrate with you. We're gonna be painting fabric. Have you ever painted fabric before? Now this is not real leather. I have not painted anything like this before. I just did a quick little test area right here, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I've got this little Ottoman at a house that I acquired all of the stuff inside, and you're gonna see the table that I did, and this came out of that same house. And I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. I thought about donating it, and I decided to paint it. I thought this would be something really quick and easy to paint, and I've not painted anything like this, so why not? So since it's my birthday, we're gonna be painting it in purple because that's my favorite color. And I want you to see, I put this in something that I'd already used, but do you see how chunky that is? So in my FIFO bottle, it is chunky in here. Y'all, that is like the best paint for raised stenciling. I wish that I had a project that we could do. This was my test spot. I mean, DIY paint can go over anything, and we've talked about that. We know that. In the past, when I've painted fabric, I've used, I usually use suede, and I paint it. I use a lot of water because you're basically dyeing the fabric. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put in some liquid patina. It acts as a fabric medium, and I did this when I did jeans. So I'm gonna put a little squirt in there, and I'm going to stir this up. Now this is automatically going to thin and this paint out, which is awesome. I can add a little bit more water if I want to, but I'm gonna look at it. So that's what's awesome about DIY paint. We talk about it all the time. You can get chunky, but then you can bring it back to paint consistency just by adding water, because there doesn't have anything in it, and it can, until it's rock hard, you can bring it back. All right, so I'm gonna do this. My brush is actually too wet. I'm gonna try to get some of the water out. I think that'll be okay. Basically, I've got sealer in here. But this is gonna act as a fabric medium. So I do wanna be careful with my brush because I don't want my brush to get messed up. All right, can you see right here? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush it on. My daughter was like, this is a bad idea. It's probably gonna crack. I know other people have painted leather before. Now, I do need to paint over this because I did not use, I'm gonna spritz this with a little bit of water. I didn't use the fabric medium, I just painted it straight on. So you could paint it straight on and I guess seal it with liquid patina, or you could seal it with wax. I don't think that I would want to use Big Top, but I think people have done Big Top on like fabrics. I personally love to paint fabric and use liquid patina, and it does not come off at all. So I'm interested to see what this will do. So when you add liquid patina to the paint, it does change the consistency of the paint. It gets a little bit harder. I'm just trying to make sure I get the these ridges. Make sure I don't miss a spot. So let me know, have you painted fabric? Yes or no?
Do you see how chunky that is? I just love when the paint gets like that. I decided to go for a second coat, and I'm glad that I did because I changed up the ratio of paint to liquid patina, and I think that was a good choice. It needed a little bit more sealer in it, and at the end of the second coat you'll see that the paint is actually a little bit darker, so that tells me that it needed more sealer. But the only reason that I added the sealer to it was just to speed up the process, and I knew that I was going to add transfers to it, and it just helped me to get this project along. I love using Kindest Regards as a background, and I wanted it to be a subtle piece. So I'm using stone gray ink so that it won't pop, because I really want the flowers to be the main event, and you'll see that here in a second. And I just apply it in sections. I just lightly go over it and just hit it here and there just to have some really cool interest. Now, doing a round surface is a little bit tricky, but just take it slow. Next, I pulled out my Peonies stamp and the mixing white ink that you can use as just regular white ink, or you can mix any of the other colors to create your own custom colors. I'm using the IOD brayer that I love so much, and I'm applying it straight onto the stamp. You could also use the ink pad. Just be careful, this is tricky because I'm doing it vertically on a round surface, and so you want to make sure that you hold it with one hand, and the other hand you just apply slight pressure. You don't want to smush it onto your piece, especially fabric. I usually prefer to apply my ink directly to DIY paint without a sealer because it doesn't move as much, but I was able to do this as I worked slowly. And I love this stamp. I mean, look how beautiful. I decided to do an open design, and I just love it. These stamps come with masks, and so I applied the mask onto my stamped area. I inked my next stamp, and then I applied it over so that it looks like one is in front and one is behind. I love doing this with these stamps. You can create your own custom design. The trick when you're using the mask is to make sure that you do apply a little bit of extra pressure where the mask is and where the fabric or the whatever substrate you're using meets, because you want there to be a connecting line. If by chance you miss that and you don't want to reapply your stamp, you could also get a thin brush and get a little bit of the ink and just line it in yourself by hand. After looking at it, I decided to add vintage linen to that section right there just to add more white, because I used the white ink and I think it just helped to tie it all together. And I just used my Klingon brushes for this project. You could purchase the brushes, the paint, the IOD stamps, and this transfer on my website, leesaboondesigns.com. You can get the links in the description below. So I'm using this beautiful lavender. It's going to be subtle, and I just cut it in pieces and applied it. It went on so easily. You can find these transfers as well on my website. They have beautiful roses, beautiful sunflowers, and this lavender all in one pad. Even with your transfers, you can customize it. These long, beautiful stems of lavender can be cut down so that you could get a bigger bang for your buck and spread them out however you want them. And using the grid really helps to get it nice and straight if that's what you're needing. But as you can see, you can also fussy cut around all of the designs. They also layer really well. After you've applied your transfer, make sure that it's adhered nicely to your substrate because you don't want it to bubble up. I'm using Golden Rule here by DIY Paint, and I'm just applying it on the ridge of the Ottoman with my finger. Next, I'm going to take liquid patina. I added a little bit of water, and I'm going to go ahead and seal my piece one more time because I added those transfers, and I want to make sure that the paint, the stamps, everything is nicely adhered to the Ottoman. The ink is permanent, so you don't have to seal it, but I did want to seal it with wax, and then I decided to just do another coat of liquid patina. And as you can see, what a beautiful transformation. What do you guys think? I love these stamps and I love the lavender. These were my favorite things, and so I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Please subscribe, please comment below and let me know what you thought about this project, and I challenge you to try painting some upholstery. Let me know in the comments if you do.